Hi everybody, I'm Lynn Schneider, Director of Communications here at Shell Point, and I'm excited to talk today about a new program that we're offering that I think is going to really benefit a lot of our residents, and it's also going to improve the services that we provide in communications here in our community. Joining me today is Kate Sullivan. Kate lives on the island at Shell Point and is a wonderful volunteer in many different areas, but she has stepped up to the plate to help us with this special project, and we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So Kate, what we are doing now, as you know, and as some I think of our residents know, is we have an audio version of Shell Point Life magazine, and this is a new program that we've introduced, and I thought we would talk about this a little bit today. First of all, let's talk about who might benefit from being able to hear Shell Point Life.
Everybody who lives here.
Now, how so?
Well, I think that originally it was specifically targeted towards the low vision people who live here, so that they will be able to have the advantage of knowing everything that's going on, everything that's printed in the magazine, because they haven't been able to read it for themselves. But there are those of us who would put it on while we're dusting, while we're getting dressed, or just have it as background. So it's a service I think that could be used by everyone here.
I really do see that there's a huge benefit, and as you said, individuals expressed to me that if they were experiencing any kind of vision difficulty and were not able to read the magazine, they felt like they were missing out on a lot of information. And I think that's true. The magazine does have a lot of valuable information each month.
Absolutely. In fact, a very good friend of mine who is a low vision person here, before we started this, I asked, do you think this would be of value to you? And was told, oh, I haven't read the magazine in years because I just can't see it, and to put it in one of those machines that blows it up, it's just very cumbersome to move it around and to follow the story regularly. So hearing that from the target audience, I was very excited to see what I could do to make it happen.
And you know, another thing that we did as part of our research in deciding how to proceed in the things that we could do to help individuals with low vision, we met with the group that is meeting once a month, the support group, and we're able to talk to them one-on-one as well. And they all shared very similar experiences, the fact that they really loved the magazine and missed it if they were no longer able to read it, or had never really been able to read the magazine and felt like there was a lot of information that they'd like to know. So I feel like that has been a very beneficial improvement to be able to record this. Now let's talk a little bit about how we're recording it and then how it's broadcast. So let's start with, you've got a very interesting little tool here. Tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, this is the recorder. You know, it was, when it was given to me, I was surprised that this is what it looked like. And I thought, well, we're going to have to hold it up here and we're going to have to read the magazine. That's going to be very cumbersome. But no, you just stick it on the table and read away. It's very sensitive. It picks up voice very well. And each of the readers got a tutorial on how to use it appropriately. And everybody did. Yay! So yeah, May was the first month that we did the audio magazine version. And we had both men and women read. You know, this was sort of make it up as you go along. But the feedback from the low vision group was that they enjoyed having different voices, reading different articles, that they enjoyed having the men and the women. So as we go forward, we will refine the process, and hopefully they will continue to get benefit out of it.
And I do think that plan of alternating voices, because imagine how long the magazine is, often 40 to 60 pages. And first of all, that's a lot for any one person to read. So having multiple voices helps to break it up, and it helps to almost bookmark it as you're listening, so that you don't sort of lose track of where you're at. You hear, oh, here's a new story with a new voice, that kind of thing.
I think also, Lynn, that if you are listening to it, I mean, if the TV gives it 2.5 hours to run. It's a long time to sit and listen. So that if you can't devote the 2.5 hours to it and you tune back in at another time that it's playing, oh, I heard this part, I recognize that voice. So then you can come back in 10 or 15 minutes and get back into it.
That's right. And that's running on Channel 12. Tell us what times the show is running. And then also, we'll talk a little bit after that about the schedule and how we might be able to alter that. So give us a little a glimpse at the schedule.
Okay, as we spoke, this is a project in progress, right? As we find our way through this and what helps the people most, we're starting out with having the audio version available the first week of the month on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. So hopefully those who are interested in hearing the magazine will have some of those times available to get in there and just listen to what's happening around Shell Point in the coming month.
Which is so helpful. And the reason we picked that first week of the month is that we wanted the audio version to be available at the same time that the print version came out, so that they felt like they were getting fresh, new news at the same time that everyone else was.
Well, I think some of the information is also time sensitive, so you want to have it as close to the front of the month as possible.
Exactly. I do know, though, that some folks have expressed an interest in maybe having it a little later in the month as well. And I know that what we'll do is look at the schedule that we currently have, because we have so many programs that we alternate on Channel 12, and we will find other times during the month that we can repeat it. But definitely that first week of the month is when the magazine will be for sure broadcast. So that's a big help. Now tell me a little bit about how you assembled your group of readers.
Oh, my group of readers. Well, it was originally brought to Spot Play Readers as a project for us to take on. And some of the play readers were interested in helping, and some of them were just way too busy to take on another issue. So I took the names from the Spot people who were interested, and I looked at them, and they were all women. I thought, that's not going to work. So I went to some of the men in the community who I know have done reading for David's shows or have done public speaking, and who are in tuned to the hearing of this population and realize that you cannot read at breakneck speed and have people understand it. So I had 2 men in May, both of whom expressed an interest in doing it again, so that's always a good thing.
That's a good sign.
Yes. And so we will look forward to having men and women. Now, since it's only a project that happens once a month, you're going to hear different voices regularly. So not everybody will be up reading every month.
Which is nice because it allows flexibility for the volunteers.
As you know, this is a very busy population, and the time frame that we have from when we're given the finished copy of the magazine until it has to come back here, be taken out of this little device and getting ready to put on the TV is a short window. So it has to depend on who's available to read at that time.
Well, if anyone is interested in being a volunteer in the future to help read Shell Point Life magazine, whether for a month or for many months, would you like them to contact you or Dottie Trones, or how would they go about it?
I think Dottie is probably the gatekeeper for volunteers, and she's already called me with someone who let her know already that they're interested in reading.
Oh, that's exciting.
It is.
Yeah,
yes.
That's great. Yes. Well, we are just thrilled to be able to offer the audio version of Shell Point Life magazine, and May was our first issue that we got out, and it was a huge success already. I hope that you'll enjoy being able to not only read the magazine, but for those of you who would prefer, hear the magazine as it's read by some of your friends and neighbors here at Shell Point.